yesterday. The Canucks were an improved squad. They suffered the worst defeat in the team's not-so-illustrious 16-year history. The Canucks skated into the Northlands tonight, hoping to match the first-place Oilers stride for stride. Instead, they got clobbered by the otherworldly score of 13-0. Highlights first period, Oilers up 2-0. They make it 3-0 on this play as Kevin McClellan sets up McTavish. He outweights Caprice before putting it upstairs. Pretty goal. And Wayne Gretzky gets a pass to Dave Lumley. He beats Caprice on the short side. The score is 4-0 Edmonton after one period. And 6 minutes into the second period, Glenn Anderson weaves through the Canuck defense, sets up a wide-open Mark Messier, his 8th. 5-0 Oilers. And with just over 2 minutes left in the period, Gretzky combines with Curry. Curry finding the 5-hole for his second of the game. 6-0 Edmonton after 40 minutes. Now hang on tight for the third period highlights. 7 Oiler goals. Short-handed, Messier to Anderson. Talk about easy. 7-0 now. Minute and a half later, Dave Lumley with the drop pass to Dave Hunter. He goes high for his first goal of the season. 8-0 for the Stanley Cup champs. This is how things went for the Canucks tonight. Lumley's attempted pass in off the skate of Hallward. 9-0. Mike Krushelnyski scores from in front to make it 10-0. Then it's Mark Napier, 11-0. Even Lee Fogelin got in on the act, 12-0. Finally, Lumley completes his hat trick. Pity, Frank Caprice. Canucks outshot 44-29, 13-0. All bad.
The Los Angeles Kings are the visitors as we pick it up. Calgary already up 3-0 when Joel Otto bangs one in off of Jay Wells. This one coming from the corner, getting past Bob Janisic. Calgary ahead 4-0. The only goal of the third period comes on this play as Paul Reinhart sets up Jim Poplinski. Nice solo effort here. His second of the night. Calgary beating Los Angeles 5-0.
Vancouver got just the jump they were looking for a minute and 16 seconds in on the power play. Doug Hallward shot whistles wide, right to a wide open Steve Tambellini. He's got a gaping net to shoot at. He scores his 8th, 1-0 Vancouver. But Edmonton ties it 5 minutes later. A fluky goal, weird bounce off the backboards right to Dave Hunter, his 9th of the season, tied the game at 1. They take the lead 3.5 minutes later. Hunter again takes the pass from Paul Coffey. Gretzky also picked up an assist, 2nd of the night for Hunter. 2-1 Oilers. Great goal here by Kevin McClellan. He splits the Canucks defense, puts it up top. It's 3-1 now, and then with 59 seconds left in the period, Raimo Suminen will hit from the slot with a backhand, his 10th of the season, 4-1 after 1. Just one goal in the second period, again on the power play for Vancouver, as they control it outside the blue line. Sundstrom with a pass in the middle to J.J. Daigneault. Nice move to the backhand, his 4th on the power play, 4 to the score. Going back the other way, Gretzky has a great chance to put the Oilers on top by one more. Nice move here, but he hits the post with Brodeur beaten 4-2 after 2. Then early in the third, Canucks draw within 1. Petrostrico in the power play makes it 4-3. Fight of the night, Craig Cox, despite having 14 stitches around his eye from a fight the other night with Dave Brown, slugs it out with Don Jackson, and he wins this one hands down. Craig Cox over Don Jackson. After that, they went back to playing hockey. A couple of great chances for Vancouver. Strico and the save there by Grant Fuhr, followed up by a pretty good chance here by Patrick Sundstrom, but Fuhr also gets a piece of that one. That allows the Oilers to ice the game at 15-28.
Robert. It doesn't take long for the Oilers to get on the board. Just 35 seconds into the game, Reggie Lemelin makes the first 2 saves, but Marty McSorley's there for the rebound and his 6th of the year. Later in the period, Paul Coffey takes the point shot. Yari Curry is there for the deflection. And the Oilers are on top 2-0 after 1 period. Early in the second period on a 3-on-2 break, Gretzky beats Lemelin with the slap shot, 3-0 Oilers. Midway through the period, the Flames get on the board. Gary Suter on the pass from Joel Otto, and Calgary trails 3-1. But just 12 seconds later, the Oilers regain their 3-goal advantage. Kevin McClellan grabs the loose puck as Lemelin is out of the net, and the Oilers go back on top by a score of 4-1. And then the fisticuffs break out. Marty McSorley and Doug Risebrough go at it. Then it's Tim Hunter trying to get at Kevin McClellan. And then McClellan fights Jim Poplinski. Dave Hunter and Kevin McClellan are ejected for the Oilers. Paul Baxter, Tim Hunter, and Jim Poplinski go for the Flames. Back to hockey in the third. Grant Fuhr with a great save on Perry Barazan, and then he stops the rebound from Steve Conroy. Fuhr faced 51 shots on goal. Flames finally beat Fuhr later in the period. It's Steve Conroy, and the Flames trail 4-2. And then with 41 seconds left, the Flames pull within a goal. With the 2-man advantage, it's Gary Suter scoring. Flames trail 4-3, but that's how it ends. The Oilers beat the Flames for the 4th time this season. 4-3 the final at the Saddledome.
half-minute mark with the Kings on the power play, and there were an abundance of power play goals tonight, but this isn't one of them. It's a shorthanded goal scored by Dave Poulin, his 16th of the year at 2:34, beating Steve Janicek in the LA Nets. It goes to be 2-0 on a Flyers power play. Tim Kerr doing the deed with his 35th goal of the year. The Flyers hit on 4 of 8 power play opportunities tonight. The LA Kings were 3 for 9. LA gets on the board on a power play. Starting it off, Grant Ledyard does the deed to make it 2-1. They're back in the ball game, but with 2.5 minutes to go in the period, another Flyers power play goal, and that's Ledyard's goal. This is what made it 2-1. And that's Hockborn's goal, as the Gremlins forgot to put all the goals on that Mr. McKeechee ordered. Regardless, it's 5-3 at that point. There comes the 6-3 goal. It was Carson doing the deed. It's 6-3 Philadelphia at the end of 2 periods. By this time, Darren Elliott's in the LA Nets, and in the midway through the 3rd period on the power play, Prott gets his 26th of the year at 7-3. The final goal of the game came with Dion getting his 17th of the year. It came at 11:43. Wells and Hardy got assists. The shots were 40-33 in Philadelphia's favor, and the Flyers won it by a score of...
The Red Wings have been fighting it out for last place. They really did that tonight. Fought it out, that is, as the Leafs spotted Detroit 2 goals and then came back to bury Detroit 6 points deep in the cellar. The final score, 7-4 for Toronto.
Wings and Leafs at the Gardens. Detroit will hit the board first. They are on the power play. John Ogrodnik will get the goal in front. He's all alone. Tips it past Don Edwards. 1-0 Detroit at 9:23 of the first period. And 4 minutes later, the Wings go up 2-0 on some great passing. Ron Duguay into Bob Probert. He dekes Don Edwards. 2-0 Wings after 1 period of play. In the second watch, as Russ Courtnall hits Detroit goalie Mark LaForce, the Wings take exception. They start piling on Russ Courtnall. Everybody gets into it. Detroit is penalized, so the Leafs will move on to the power play, and they take full advantage. Al Iafrate shoots from the point, tipped in by Marion Stastny. The Leafs on the board, trailing 2-1, and they'll tie up the game just 16 seconds later. This time it's Al Iafrate tipping in a Steve Thomas shot, and the game is all tied up at 2. And 2 minutes later, the Leafs on the power play again. A scramble in front of the net. Steve Thomas will pick up the loose puck, backhands it home. The Leafs in front for the first time, 3-2. Leafs led 4-3 after 2 on a Tom Fergus goal. Detroit tied it early 3rd, but the Leafs went up 5-4 as Russ Courtnall steals from behind the Wings net, feeds to Wendell Clark. He pots his 14th. Leafs lead again. Steve Thomas made it 6-4 in the 3rd, and then the fireworks began behind the wing net. Watch as goalie Mark LaForce gets into it, and look out, everybody's into it. Detroit's Lane Lambert first off the bench, and look as even Miro Inachek gets into it with wing goalie Eddie Mio. And there's Bob Probert and Bob McGill. Probert thrown out of the game for headbutting. Terrible stuff. When the Donnybrook ended and things cleared, Dan Hodgson added a late goal. Toronto beats up on Detroit 7-4.
Now from boxing.
Trade as Joe Kosher and Bob McGill traded blows. Give McGill a split decision on that one. The Red Wings narrowed the Red Wings net, and that led to a bench clearing brawl, and it was ugly. After the bench clearing brawl, the Wings were left with 2 men.
And watch this. It all starts when Wendell Clark decks his cousin Barry Melrose. They get into a scuffle. Then Lane Lambert and the rest of the Red Wings get the go sign from Brad Park, so over the boards they go. Then everybody gets into the action. The rookie from Czechoslovakia, Miroslav Inachek, and of all people, the goaltender, Eddie Mio. Now watch this headbutt there. Bob Probert decks Bob McGill out cold. He eventually comes to. Lots of dancing and holding, and the Leafs go on to prevail 7-4 in this hockey game. This really got out of control, but the Leafs open up a 6-point lead over Detroit with that victory. And there's Don Edwards. Boston then with a...
The Kings opened the first game of the back-to-back today and tomorrow here in their series with enough goals to win both games. Had 8 shots in the first period, scored on 5 while the Canucks were struggling. Morris Lukowicz, Jay Wells, and Brian Engblom got them started. The first period played in the Vancouver end. Joe Patterson made it 4-0 LA at 16:05 of the first. Boomed a power play counter through from the slot. And then the Kings chased goaltender Richard Brodeur to the Vancouver bench. Marcel Dion put the puck into the Canuck net for the 5th time in the frame. And he really did put it in to leave the Canucks 5 goals down and frustrated. The frustration showing with the usually non-combatant Canuck captain taking on one of his best friends, Tiger Williams. The friendship showing itself as Williams just hung on to Stan Spiel till it was over. Second period, Canucks used a 5-minute power play to finally turn on the red light behind Janusek. Rick Lands converts the Skriko-Tanti playmaking into the first Vancouver goal in 4 periods. It's 5-1. Then 5-2, LA 2 men short. Canucks take advantage. The tee shot from the point is stopped. Sundstrom takes a swipe at it. Cam Neely puts it in. That makes the game a little more interesting. Steve Tambellini adds to that. Works a give and go with Stan Smeel again the power play. It's 5-3 till the Kings stop the Canucks roll on the LA power play. Grant Ledyard bounces a point shot in off Tony Tanti's stick. The Kings again lead by a field goal, but not for long. Steve Tambellini's second of the night makes it close again at 6-4, and the comeback continues. All of a sudden, they're just a goal apart. Tony Tanti deflects another shot in, this time at the right end. It's 6-5 LA after 2. 6 minutes into the third, the Kings use an old rugby play to go ahead 7-5. They scramble around in a scrum. Somehow the goal finds its way through. Dave Taylor got credit for it. The back and forth continues. Back to the LA end, where Petri Skriko again pulls the Canucks to within 1. 3 minutes after that, Stan Smeel beats Janusek to count the convert. They're tied at 7 with 4:27 left in the game. It doesn't stop. The craziness continues. Taylor and Dion team up to set up Mark Hardy. He beats Wendell Young to make it 8-7 with 3:39 left. And then Marcel Dion finishes it off into the open net. Kings win the first of 2, 9-7. They continue tomorrow night at the Fabulous Forum.
Vancouver open scoring at 59 seconds. Stan Smeel takes it off the boards. 1-0 Canucks as John Casey got caught too far from the net. Rookie Dave Lowry got his 5th of the year. Coming out of the corner from Cam Neely, it's 2-0 at 6:52. Tony Tanti became a 30-goal scorer again on this play. Skriko with a nice feed, all kinds of time to the stick side. It's 3-0. Stan Smeel got his second of the night at 18:46 of the first period. Watch the nice pass from Tommy Gradin. Picks up the rolling puck and puts it right there for Smeel. That makes it 4-0. Minnesota got one back before the period ended. Matt Saline, his second with 17 seconds to go, made it 4-1 after 1. In the second period, Skriko tallied his 26th of the year, takes it off the skate and wraps it home. Sundstrom the assist. It's 5-1. Tanti got another only 41 seconds later. Comes out of the corner, works in front, the backhand. That's number 31 on the season. It's 6-1 Vancouver. Keith Acton picked up his 18th as the puck rolls in front. A big shot at 6-2. Later on, rookie Craig Cox will give Vancouver an 8-4 lead with his second of the year. Stuffs it in. 8-4 after 2. Then a bad giveaway in the third period in the star zone. Dirk Graham right to Doug Lidster. His 7th of the year. Rifles it home. 10-5 Vancouver.
Close enough. Then Rocky II Part 5 Hockey Edition broke out. The game was over, but emotions still running high. 4 main bouts occurred. Craig Cox, Garth Butcher, Tim Poulis, and Matt Colleen provided some unofficial overtime, but the end result was to remain the same. The Canucks on top, 10-5.